Hello everyone, Cheeky here. I'm with a particular man. Name?
Name? Stop, like. Name, rank, and serial number.
Do you have a rank and serial number?
No rank.
Mike Forbes.
Chief Monkey Brush Boy.
So Mike has, how many paintings have you got in the auction? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And he's here to come and talk about him, the paintings, and his outlook on life. But I've got some questions because the Mike I've met that I took a year banging on the door of to try and get the opportunity to sell one of his paintings is not the Mike that I think that everyone else knows out in the wide world. So hopefully that will come across today, and Mike will also explain why he's putting the unusual step of putting his art into an auction. We'll start with that one. Why are you doing that?
Why am I doing that? Well, I've throughout my life I've exhibited in many galleries around the world, and some very fine galleries.
Not the finest yet.
Based yeah. But the gallery system, when I started out, galleries took 33 1/3, and it's slowly crept up, where galleries are now taking 50% plus that, which is a way of getting 60%. And I kind of started looking sideways at the gallery world when the gallery started making more than the artist.
It doesn't seem a good balance, does it?
It doesn't. It didn't feel fair.
No.
It didn't feel fair, and I started then just concentrating on two galleries that I'm particularly fond of, because of the people who run them. There's Jeff Jaff in Pop International in Manhattan in New York.
Right.
He's a totally decent bloke, and I'm happy to sell through him.
Where's he? In New York?
In New York,
yeah.
On Manhattan, in the Bowery.
Okay. The reason I ask is we've got a lot of American customers, and we're actually tied up with an antique shop in Manhattan too.
Yeah.
So it's not too far from where you guys are.
Yeah, cool.
But yeah, how many paintings has he got?
Well, he's done a couple of shows with me, so I've had a couple of one-man shows with Jeff in Manhattan. And then there's Jared, who has a Keep Contemporary in Santa Fe.
Okay.
So he's got some of my work.
So again, America. Both of them are based in America.
Yeah.
Why is that, do you think?
I from the beginning, way back in the 80s, when I was starting out, we had an American who was over hunting, shooting and fishing, chap called Jack Malloy, great bloke, and he came in and bought everything. He was like, I love everything. That's every artist's dream.
Feel free to do that with all of the 6, by the way.
But that's what every artist dreams of someone saying, but he did. And so I just thought, because it was at the beginning, I just thought, oh, this art world, this is for me.
What year was that?
Oh, that was 88.
And which gallery was that they bought from?
That was Older Arts in Inverness. That's where I started out.
Okay.
And then I got picked up a gallery in Edinburgh.
Okay.
Spotted my work, and she gave me a show down in Edinburgh. And then W. Gordon Smith, who is a great art critic in Edinburgh, he gave me a couple of good write-ups. He used to take great delight in going, I discovered him. And but he did me. I got a couple of good write-ups in the papers, and then.
So you've been an established artist, professional artist, making a living from this since 1988.
Yeah.
But things have changed recently, haven't they? You said to me a number of times that an awful lot of your contemporaries have just given up.
Yeah. Like on Facebook, I've got many artist friends around the world, and every other day you just get them posting that they're giving up, they're knocking it on the head, and I'm like, what are you doing? You're a great artist. You can't stop. And they're just like, it's just not doable anymore.
It doesn't pay the bills for them.
It's I don't know. A gallery in Monaco that I was dealing with. He was going to give me a show, and then he decided to back out, and I said to him, why? And he just said, because he said the art world is dead. And I was like, What? No, I thought it was bad, but it wasn't that bad.
Uh-huh.
But he said he felt that the wars and COVID had killed it. And and I've noticed since COVID things have slowed down. People,
as in sales have slowed down.
yeah, but all artists and galleries, I think they're all feeling it. I think
Do you not think
cost of living, perhaps, or fear.
Do you not think the idea that art is dead is one of the silliest suggestions ever?
No, I
it may be changing.
Yeah, I heard a psychologist say the other day that it's very difficult to create if you're frightened. You know, if you're suffering from anxiety or depression or something. So I don't know. I think we are living in a frightened world right now.
But that comes across in your artwork.
Yeah.
I mean, this one up here that we have. When did you paint this one in the middle with the lady from?
Yeah, that was 2 weeks into the invasion of the Ukraine.
Now, which invasion?
Yeah, the second one. Most recent.
Yes, the one that everybody thinks is the invasion, but of course it was 2014.
Yeah.
When it first happened.
Yeah.
So you have found art in fear.
Yeah, I always think that I'm the. There was this Japanese magazine that did a feature on me about how I can see the future, because I did.
Oh, that's right. Yes, I've seen some of those things you've put on Facebook. Yeah.
Because I did a couple of paintings that predicted the future. Like I did a painting of the Capitol Hill riots.
That's right.
6 months before there was a riot at the Capitol Hill, and then I did a painting of Donald Trump as a fox stealing all the chickens. So he's running with the chickens, but the chickens were the White House documents.
Right.
But in the painting, he's getting shot at by the farmer, and the bullet goes through his ear.
Yes, I saw that one. Yes.
Yeah.
So you like The Simpsons, really?
With
their
But the bullet goes through his ear, and you know when you look back, you're like, "Ooh, that's a bit odd." So, but I do think, but that's not predicting the future. That is just the year was a bit odd, but I just feel that if you are aware of the times and you're aware of the zeitgeist and you're aware politically of what's going on, you can see where things are going.
It's not, if you can see through the noise, it's quite an easy path what Trump's trying to do.
Yeah. So I see myself really as the canary down the mine.
Okay.
You know, that I am quite maybe oversensitive and also pessimistic. And so I can...
So you're a miserable bastard, really.
I can be. But I'll pick up maybe on something that quite early on that just doesn't feel right. Like with Trump, I mean, I've been protesting Trump since 2006.
Why?
I saw him as a kid. I remember when I was a kid, I watched this documentary about him and Ivanka developing property in New York. And I just watched this documentary thinking, what an absolute...
It was like a caricature, wasn't it? We can all see it now, looking back. But back in the day, he was such a celebrity within America.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was the archetypal 80s property developer.
He seemed to revel in everything I didn't like.
Yeah. It's just like he was out of a Superman movie in terms of...
the avarice and the love of wealth and shiny things. And so then when he decided that he was going to flatten the sand dunes at Many for a golf course, and then there was the chap Michael Forbes, my namesake.
Your namesake.
And I was
an artist in his own right.
Brilliant bloke. The thing that some people can be artists.
Of course they can. I mean, I'm not being facetious, but it was... I mean, you're articulate, you can articulate your thoughts through, and he was everything that you weren't. Because people just couldn't understand him. Is he still around?
Yeah.
Is he still there?
Yeah.
Fabulous.
But, so I was just minding my own business painting, and then on the news, I heard Donald Trump saying Michael Forbes lives like a pig. And I was like, what?
You've made it now.
So that's what put him on my radar, and then I messaged Michael Forbes, the farmer, and offered to put a mural on his barn.
That's right, overlooking the proposed golf course.
Yeah. So it was an anti-Trump.
And the golf course has gone ahead,
Yeah.
and they trashed what was in the way and built what there is.
Yeah.
Nothing else went ahead.
No,
the clubhouse, but none of the houses.
Yeah, promised hundreds of jobs. None of that happened. And then they wanted to compulsory buy the houses and flatten them because they spoilt the view from his hotel.
And in the end, he probably ended up getting more publicity out of them fighting him than he did anything else. Anyway, so yeah, Trump is a big factor. He's right behind you, and everyone can see. What's the story behind that beast of a...
Yeah, so in 2016, the day of the Brexit referendum, Trump was coming to Turnberry because he's got a golf course in Turnberry.
Well, that's right. He's bought it.
Yeah.
Or put his name to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he had been nominated to run for the Republican Party.
Okay.
But this was his first trip out of the United States. So I thought it was important that people saw how the outside world felt about him. So I felt that protesting him at many was important.
Mm-hmm.
So I made this thing here.
Does it have a name?
Devil Trump.
Devil Trump.
And so I made that and then got on the train with it and went off down to Glasgow, spent the night in a hotel with it, and then got on the bus the next day, and sitting beside me was Janie Godley,
the comedian,
who's famous for holding up the sign.
I'm going to say it. Trump is a cunt. That's brilliant.
Yeah. So
it's iconic Scottish moment.
Yeah. Which kind of got me annoyed because not a lot, just a little bit. It was like I spent a bit of time making that thing, and then she made that on the bus. But
the two of them are there.
It was a perfect thing. That's the thing about good art is it doesn't really matter how long it takes to make it, but if it's perfect.
Yes.
And what she did was exactly what needed to be said, and she did it so well. So that was at Turnberry, and
someone's just trashed Turnberry actually.
Yes.
Some protesters.
Yeah.
It's just a shame because the buildings have got nothing to do with Trump. He owns them.
Yeah.
They weren't designed or built by him.
But yeah, if you're gonna get into bed with Trump and put his name on your business, then you probably you're gonna get the
says every American cringing right now because that's exactly where they are.
Yeah.
So Trump is a big factor, and one of your more famous paintings is the day of his first inauguration or the weekend, where there's a painting of Madonna as the Statue of Liberty, holding up a sign saying "Not my president."
Yeah.
And it's a play on the King Kong, and it's Trump as King Kong, and that went viral. That
did go viral. Yeah, I got someone phoned me up and went, "Oh my God, you should check Madonna's Facebook page," and then her Instagram, and then Twitter when it was Twitter, and she just posted it everywhere, and it was Madonna gave me a shout out. She said, "Michael Forbes, Superman to the rescue." Because it's Superman flying around
to rescue. You're gonna have to change it, put your face on it.
But yeah, then things went really crazy. Because it did go viral and it became a global story.
And I suppose that touches on we kind of missed away your genre. What is it?
Yeah, so people like pigeonholes. They do. They love to know what they're looking at. So I've always done this from whenever I started painting, and my work's always been I think what would have been described as surreal, but I didn't know about surrealism when I started. But then I latched onto surrealism because I liked it when I did discover it. I had a look at it and I liked it, and I felt that there was some kind of connection with surrealism and what I was doing. And then later on, I worked for the pop artist Gerald Lang. And I introduced a more pop arty vibe to some of the work.
Is that consciously, or is it just something you were drawn to?
Well, just been around his work.
Okay.
I started and been taking an interest in pop art.
And again, you excuse my questions, but being ignorant, and there's going to be many people that will have just heard about it for the first time, and that's the purpose of this auction, is to get you a different market. What is Gerald? How important was he in pop art?
Yeah, Gerald's a member of founding member of the British pop art movement, but he was mostly out in America during the 1960s. He was a contemporary of Warhol and Roy Lichtenstein.
Just to be clear, contemporary means an equal, not a...
Oh yeah. No, he was.
He stood on his own 2 feet.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Gerald was exhibiting with them before they were famous.
And when you were starting out as an artist, you worked with Gerald.
Yeah, I worked for Gerald for several years.
Or at his castle, I believe.
Sometimes, yeah. If he would go, he used to go to New York quite a lot because he was married to an American.
Right.
So they had a place out in New York, and I'd be left behind to just look after everything, and you couldn't. I mean, it's a beautiful castle, and the Scottish Highlands.
Just to be clear, it's a castle, near Inverness. We'll just say that. Near where you live.
Near where I live.
Yeah, and you've not really moved. You're just down the street from your grandfather's.
Oh yeah, I'm as Highland as a black-faced sheep.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, no, I did this thing. My son's partner's mother's into family trees and all that kind of stuff, and I think she went back 400 years, and my family's moved 2.5 miles.
Really? They were blacksmiths, I believe. Weren't they? I found that out through someone else.
No. Where I'm staying, everyone there was a smithy next door to me, and the people lived in the house that I'm in now.
Gotcha.
They were blacksmiths. No.
Right. So you've moved 2.5 miles.
Yeah, in 400 years.
Thank God. Well, I suppose if you'd been anywhere else, you'd probably be living in America as a result of the clearances, wouldn't you?
Well, this is it. Yeah, the clearances. So we were up in Ray in Sutherland, in the area of Scotland that was cleared.
Doonray, where the
With the nuclear
power station
yeah.
is. Yeah.
So just along the road from that is Ray.
Sorry, big shout out to the new antique shop that's just opened up there. Sorry.
Open more often. We passed twice. It's never open.
Were you there the weekend?
Yeah.
They're opening up after Easter.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, but they've just taken it on. They had last year. They were finding their feet.
Oh, okay.
But really enthusiastic. In fact, that's one of their pieces in the auction. Beautiful, isn't it?
Which one?
The Bonnie Scott's boy.
Oh, right. Cool.
Staffordshire figure.
With the giant sheep.
Giant sheep. I've given you the best backdrop with the Wally dogs and everything else.
Pushing them off the edge, as the sheep did in Sutherland.
So, okay, you've kind of explained a little bit about your background, what your art is, why you do it, the pigeonhole that some of us can put you into now. There's huge.
Well, the pigeonhole. I probably didn't mention the pigeonhole. So after pulling in some pop art into my work, I then discovered pop surrealism. Pop surrealism is, or lowbrow art, it's got two names, is an American movement.
Right.
So it's got artists like Tara McPherson and Sass Christian and Mark Ryden's probably the most famous.
No, I've not come across them yet. But I don't
Great
need to
artists.
because I've got you on my doorstep.
Yeah, great artists, love their stuff. And I like their work so much that I identified with it. I thought, hang on a minute, this is really like what I'm doing. So I thought that's a pigeonhole that I'd be quite happy to.
Yes, that's quite unusual for you to be able to say I'm comfortable enough to associate myself with this. Okay.
Yeah. So if people say to me, "Oh, your work's quite pop surreal," I'm quite happy to go, yeah.
Okay. So pop surrealistic, surreal, and lowbrow. Those are the two genres that you wouldn't mind. Okay, and so huge links with America, a huge commentary about America as well. And do you think there's any surprise given where you live? Thousands and thousands of miles away in the Scottish Highlands, not moved 2.5 miles in 400 years, and yet you're commentating quite heavily on things that happen in America.
Yeah, I mean, I live in the Scottish Highlands because I love it. I feel at home in it. My family are here, my friends are here. I've got really good roots here. I've never felt a desire to leave it, but my eye is on the world. And I don't really think it matters where you live to take an interest in the world.
No, but the thing I was trying to get at is that the thing that struck me since I came back, I moved out to the Caribbean, I came back here in 2019, and I grew up in the Highlands, I went to school here, and the links between the Highlands and America is just bizarre. I mean, our shop's in Tain, and there's a small enclave of American population that lives in Dornoch, because of the golf course. The golf course of Dornoch is considered to be the best outside of America by Americans. And there is a huge link between the educated Americans who travel and the Highlands.
Yeah.
Which is something you've kind of touched on in one of your more recent paintings.
Yeah, well, I mean, with the clearances, America, as we know it today, wouldn't exist without the Highland clearances, because basically the people from the north of Scotland and the Highlands were cleared off the land to be replaced with sheep farming.
Blackfish sheep.
And stuck on ships and sent off to the New World.
Yeah.
So, you know, the early days of America, the population was probably hugely Scottish.
Predominated by Scots and Irish. All doing the same thing. The Irish leaving because of the famine, and the Scots leaving because they were kicked off the land.
Yeah, thrown out.
Aye. Something we don't talk about much more, something we can do at another time is the clearances. But when I saw that painting behind you, this is more about global warming, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
And that is a subject that I've always taken an interest in. Even in my very early work, is I think I joined Greenpeace in 1983 or something.
Really? You still remember?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, they phoned me the other day and said, would you consider leaving us something in your will?
I went to a very prestigious school nearby, and they ring us up every month. Would you like to give something to the school?
Yeah.
No, not anymore. Done, thank you.
I was like, do you know something I don't? But I was 93, I would have been 15, so I've been a member of Greenpeace since I was 15, so I kind of woke up to those issues quite early on.
So one thing I do want to ask, I'm conscious about time. So you'll be able to see the painting to the right is quite obvious. When did you paint that one?
Yeah, about a year and a half ago.
Okay, so it's quite obviously John Wayne in is that tutu?
A tutu.
Tutu, saying man up.
Yeah.
And what's that about?
What's that about? Well, that's about masculinity, isn't it? I mean, you've got your John Wayne, who my dad, when he used to get angry with me and my brother, he would just put on this John Wayne impression, you know. So it was like, oh, here we go. He's gone full blown John Wayne, you know. And he would speak in this John Wayne voice, like, "You two better get over here." And so John Wayne is this ultra masculine figure, you know, who didn't really tolerate anyone else who wasn't ultra masculine, even though he himself made a life out of dressing up, putting on makeup, and his real name was Marion.
I know his birth name is Marion. I didn't realise it was a gender neutral name. Well, it isn't, is it?
Yeah.
No.
So this is just a play on the expectations of what it is to be male, and the expectations of what is masculine.
So it's not a commentary on the trans issue, more masculinity of men.
Well, I think the two things blur together.
Okay.
I think the whole trans thing is that for so long, men have been expected to be a certain way and behave a certain way.
Except Scottish Highlanders, who can run around in a kilt, struck skirt, with a big beard, and still be as manly as you can.
Yeah, maybe. But I'm struggling with kilt and skirt.
I know, it's something we always do as growing up. It's kilt, not skirt.
Not a skirt. Not a skirt.
But the reason I bring it up is because we put it up on Facebook, and somebody came back and said, "Oh yay, another woke lefty." Yeah,
I get that all the time. I don't know. People said, there was a thing I saw the other day, and it said, "What would you say if someone said to you, 'You're woke'?" And I would say, "Well, I am. Why are you still asleep?" Because all woke is to me is being aware of the struggle of people who are on the fringes or the minorities, and it's being woke is just another word for empathy, and I have empathy, and I've always been on the side of the underdog. And this is why I've never liked Trump, is because he calls people losers. Someone's a loser, and yet he's the president of the United States, and the whole point of being president is to help the people at the bottom end of the ladder.
To work for them, not to
work for them, to help them.
He's got it the wrong way around.
Because they're the people that need the help the most.
Yeah.
So to look at those people and call them losers, he is just the epitome of I don't want to say evil, because I don't really believe in good and evil in that sense, but certainly he is so void of any empathetic.
Well, I don't think he is. I think it's a caricature he's put on. to get where he wants to get.
Yeah, but people are buying into that caricature.
That's why he's
whether it's real or not real, it's the face that he's decided to put forward, and the population are voting for that facade or that performance. You know, he's felt that this is what the people want, so he's given it to them.
Well, he's gone and achieved things that no other president has done in modern times. The amount, I think it's 3 elections, and each election more people voted for him than the previous one. Which is incredible.
But
then, like you say, he's tapped into something that people say they want, and you talked about it earlier: the fear, the worry. You know.
Yeah. Well, he's marketing fear. Fear breeds fear, and and anger is a manifestation of fear.
And yet, nearly every single one of your works of art has an element of fun.
Yeah.
In it as well.
Well, yeah. I think. I remember I saw Gerald with some of his friends. We were going around a house expo in Inverness, and I was coming out of one house that was in the expo, and he was just passing with his friends, and he introduced me, and he said, "Oh, everybody, this is a while ago." He said, "Oh, everybody, this is my angry artist friend," and I said hello to everyone, and then when they moved away, I said to Gerald, "Why did you introduce me as angry?" And he went, "Oh, Michael, have you seen your paintings?"
Aye, but it's a very Scots thing. It's a little bit like Jane that down at Turnberry. Yeah, Trump is a cunt. It's not real. It's not just anger.
It's not real anger. No, it's humour.
Exactly.
So this is what I try and do, and I feel that some of my paintings might come across as angry. I heard on the radio yesterday a Scottish Glaswegian football manager who's going to have to change his accent because he's been sent off the sidelines twice by the referee for being too aggressive.
Which one was that?
I don't know. I mean, I'm not really into football, but I find that quite funny. And he was just going, "I wasn't even being aggressive. I just sound aggressive," because he's from Glasgow. And I just think there is this thing about Scots that, you know, like what's his name, Willie the groundskeeper Willie in The Simpsons. You know, he's this angry Scotsman, and I think we kind of are perceived maybe as angry, but. It's not anger. It's not real anger anyway. I try and put humour into it to pull people in.
Some paintings don't have any humour in. I mean, obviously the one in Ukraine is pure anger, and
Yeah.
understandably.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a crazy situation out there. But again, if we could wrap this up and maybe want to touch on 2 things. One thing I know about you that I don't think many people do know about you, but most importantly, again, you're putting these items into this auction to try and sell more work. Sell more art, to fund more art for yourself, and I don't think it's something you should be ashamed of because it's your living. That's what you make a living from. But just to be clear, when you did a big auction, show down in London, and all of your work sold out, for, I think it was 12,500 was the average price of every painting. How much of that 12,500 did you see after gallery fees and everything else?
Yeah, if 12,500, I think I probably sold 3. 3.
So, and again, we're not disrespecting that gallery, they put your name on the map, etc., but there is a disparity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So this is an opportunity. Michael's art is here and may perceive to be inexpensive in the estimate, but it is actually going to work out to be probably exactly the same or more if you all fight over each one.
Yeah. Because that wasn't 12,000 for the whole show, that was 12,000
per painting.
Per painting.
Yes. So these are all got an estimates ranging from 3,000 right up to 4. But again, our estimates are there designed to try and get you, the bidder, interested and to bidding against each other. So hopefully we can get all 6 sold. And we've chosen a variety of them. I think we've got modern topics. But yeah, I want to end on one thing because we've talked about Trump, but there's another big player in the world.
Oh.
Yes. Downstairs, we've got a replica gun. And you picked it up and got quite excited. You've got a history with guns and art.
Oh yes. So for a period of time, I was getting AK-47s from Iraq and then having them decommissioned, and then I was turning them into pieces of art. And at the show in London on Bond Street, I sold to a Dimitri Kopalousos, who is a massive art collector from Greece. And he has the Kopalousos family gallery out in Athens.
Okay.
And so he said that he wanted this piece. And the piece was, it was an AK-47 covered in oil company logos, and it was
Western oil company logos.
Yeah,
yeah.
And then it was George Bush's head popping through in a kind of 1950s advertising way, and he said, "We interrupt this war to bring you a message from our sponsors," and it was the oil company logos all over the gown. So Dimitri,
and this is a commentary about the war in Iraq.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Dimitri said that he wanted this for his business partner's office, and I was like, "Cool." So he bought it, and then afterwards I googled him because you take an interest, and
you have to learn how to spell his name first.
Yeah. And his business is Prometheus Gas, and massive company,
right.
Natural gas company. And his business partner is Vladimir Putin.
So
I sold an AK-47 to Vladimir Putin.
We've got an American partner who is bringing Scottish provincial silver back from America to Scotland so that we can sell it. And you've managed to go sell a Russian decommissioned rifle to Russia.
Yeah.
To Mr. Russia.
Yeah.
Oh dear. So yeah, you're a Scotsman living and working in 3 miles from where your family has ever been. You comment on the world and you poke fun at Putin, Mr. Trump. Is anyone not?
Just bullies. Just an establishment where there's oppression and the underdog is in some way victimized. That really just pushes all my buttons.
But at the same time, having a bit of fun.
Yeah.
Enjoy it.
Well, yeah, because you want to bring people along with it, and if you're just angry, then people are turned off by that.
Yeah.
So it's better to woo them in with a funny cat painting, and then once they get lured in and go, "Oh, I like his funny cat paintings," then you hit them with something.
Okay, so let's not pretend. The purpose of this podcast is to be a bit of an advert, and you've just done it. Woo you in. And I'm going to end it on that.